You got oysters in my stout. You got stout in my oysters. You heard that correct. We put our taste buds on the line this week as we played a little game called Oyster Stout Roulette. Will we enjoy this style of beer that none of us even knew existed, or will we all begin a chain reaction of vomiting? Find out on this week's episode of Wreck My Taste Buds. We're going to start off. Today we have a briny episode of the Wreck My podcast called Wreck My Taste Buds. And so what we're doing today is we have three beers. One is a chocolate stout by Founders Brewing Company. One is a coconut porter by Maui Brewing Company. And the other one is an oyster stout by, I think, Service Brewing Company. Something like Service Brewing Company. So none of us have ever had an oyster stout, and I was a little confused when I first got it because I was like, what does that even mean? It literally means that they brew oysters in the wort. They boil oysters in the wort when they're making the beer. And I asked them because I looked up some stuff, and most places just do the shells, but I got in contact with them. They actually do the inside too, like the muscle, like the oyster, which isn't it an aphrodisiac?
It is.
So we're going to all be sexy after this. So it's going to be...
Too late, Jordan, too late.
That's not how it works.
That's how it works.
Oh, darn it. I thought that's how it works.
Speak for yourselves.
Okay, so what we're going to do is...
Easy joke, Cubis already.
It's been 5
Within
minutes.
1 minute.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go
When
down the
are we
line.
getting the soundboard?
Calm down, Joe Kubis. Yeah, I forgot
Jordan's
what
not
we
there.
say. I know, I forgot what we say. So I'm going to plug real quick first. Go to Twitter, Instagram, @WreckMyPodcast. Subscribe on YouTube or the iTunes podcast app. Rate, review, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll probably be on more platforms soon other than just Apple and YouTube, and we will let you know
Spotify.
on Twitter and Instagram once we're on other platforms. And they'll be in the show notes of everything. Yeah, MySpace. Actually, I had an idea for one where we would go on MySpace and check our old MySpaces out, but I can't log into
I don't
mine.
think they work
They've
anymore.
Made it so you cannot.
Yeah, well,
No,
my cousin
they've-
just posted that
they've
she got
actually
into
deleted
hers.
a lot of them.
Yeah, because I
why.
went to mine and there was no account under my old email address anymore.
Probably deleted it.
That's such a bummer.
Yeah.
Because that would have been awesome to go on and be like, what bands were we quoting
I think
then?
it would be
And, like,
embarrassing.
It would
Yeah,
be
I was
very
gonna say,
embarrassing.
I
Your top
get
8?
enough of
Yeah.
seeing oh, you said this in 2010 on Facebook. I'm like, ooh.
Ooh, don't bring that up. Luckily, it's private when they tell you. They don't
Yeah.
bring your dirty laundry in front of the whole world.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go down the line. And I think
it's
that
just on the floor.
how we did it is that each beer is the same for all of us, left, middle, right, correct? That's how we're
I don't
doing
know.
it?
You
Like the left beer for all of us is the
Sure,
same,
yeah.
the middle
Yeah,
beer,
it's the
and the
same,
right.
see?
Okay.
So we're going to go through and we're going to see if we can't guess which one is the chocolate stout, which one is the coconut porter, which one is the oyster stout. So we're playing a little game I like to call Oyster Stout Roulette. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a background first, though, before we go into the
now,
oyster
are you
stout.
doing tally marks to see who the winner is?
Sure, in my head.
Oh.
So I'm the winner.
Oh.
It's gonna be kind of embarrassing if we can't get these all right.
Yeah.
So, and how long ago do you think oyster stouts came into existence? Because I thought it was a fairly new thing,
I thought it would be a fairly
like
new
with the
thing
whole
as well.
experimentation in craft beer and everything.
Well, I would have guessed newer if you hadn't prefaced it in that
Yes.
way. So
I'm
gonna
thinking the
say
60s.
The 60s, okay.
1892.
Actually, the 1800s
Wow.
but that's just the term oyster stout. What it meant is that people enjoyed drinking stouts while they ate oysters. I guess they went well together, so they called it oyster stouts in, I think, Maine or Boston or something like that.
Yes.
And the bittersweet flavor of the stout offset the briny, salty taste of the mollusk inside the oyster. So, you know, because we never ask whether we should, we just ask whether we can. We decided to put them together and to brew the oyster actually in the beer. And so supposedly a lot of people say it's good and it's kind of subtle. So it's going to be interesting to see whether or not we can actually see which one is the briny flavor of it all.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with against subtle. I doubt it's gonna be subtle.
Yeah, I don't know, because I think that salty is really potent.
I don't know. I feel like whenever we try a beer that has some kind of weird flavor it's advertised as, it's never as stand out
Totally
of a
agree.
flavor than when you
Totally
think
agree.
it's going to be.
That's true, because I've had the Victory at Sea, and then I've had peanut butter Victory at Sea, and they're almost,
Identical.
yeah, you can't tell them apart.
Yeah.
You're almost
you know.
better off not saying.
Yeah, you're almost better
initially.
off just being like,
Yeah.
I paid $2 more for a peanut butter one.
See, actually, I'm the other way. Like I've had a peanut
marketing
butter stout
play.
that felt like I just got slapped in the face with peanut butter and was just way too overpowering. And I've had some like fruitier, the dudes brewing, they have the juice box series. Like
Yes.
try their peach one. It doesn't taste like a beer at all. It tastes like a peach.
Well, when you get to the point of like sours and goses and stuff like that, that's when you can really tell because it's super tart.
Yeah.
It changes the whole flavor profile of a beer. But let's not waste too much time talking about this. Let's dig into the first one. So
Thank
let's
you.
see what we think,
Still
guys.
didn't say when the first beer brewed
So,
with.
okay, fine. I will give you more. If you want to know more,
Thanks,
Kipka.
Kipka.
Jeez. All right, take notes,
I
people.
wanted the real answer.
So because of the popularity together, in the late 1800s, brewers discovered that the oyster shell was an effective clarifying agent and that they would pour the beer over the shells to help clarify the beer to get the yeast sediments out at the bottom and everything. As time went on, they then added shells into the boiling process and finally continued on by adding the oysters into it themselves. Early 1900s was about
That's
when
what I
they
was
did that.
looking for.
1920-ish, I think. 1910s is when they started actually
You
doing
have
that.
satisfied the Kipka.
And I wrote, it's an organic process that took
Oh, yeah,
over
that comes
100
later.
years to finally get there.
All right.
So
I'll just
there
look
you
at
go.
that date.
Here,
Took a while.
I'll read you this too.
That's okay.
General Sherman torched
good.
most of the Confederate South on his 1864 march to the sea, but his swath of destruction met its end when he came upon the lovely city of Savannah, Georgia. Overcome by its
Sloth
beauty, he
destroyed
presented the unscathed Savannah to President Lincoln as a Christmas gift. Lincoln's Gift Oyster Stout is a sweet stout brewed with locally harvested May River oysters from the Bluffton Oyster Company, giving this traditional dark beer a slightly briny character.
All right, welcome back, everyone that fast forwarded through that.
Someone in the comments is like, just go to 3 minutes and 45 seconds. They drink the beer there.
Get to the beer.
Yeah, all right. So,
President Lincoln gift.
all right, so let's try this number one, guys.
Number
You want-
one.
I'm going to take a smell first. Oh, I already know what this one is.
Yeah, I think I know as well.
I'm thinking that's the chocolate stout, the Founder's breakfast
breakfast.
chocolate stout. It has a very dark chocolate, bitter coffee taste to me.
So what are the three options again?
So the three options are an oyster stout, which would have a briny, salty character, a chocolate stout, and a coconut porter.
Yeah.
I don't know. This does have kind of a bite afterwards, but it's not salty to me. It's just like
There's no way it could be the coconut.
That's
'cause
chocolate.
coconut.
no, it's not coconut.
Yeah,
it's
it's a chocolate.
I don't,
ruling
it's
coconut
not
out.
oyster either. It's
chocolate.
definitely got to be the breakfast stout.
Now, Joe, you are a fan of oysters, aren't you?
I am. Big
Yes.
fan of
Is anyone
oysters.
else a fan of oysters? Because I hate them.
I like clam chowder.
Clam. Well, I mean, have you ever
He
shot?
just wants his chowder.
Have you ever shot an oyster? Because I know Joe, you do like the oyster shooters in
Yeah.
like the
Oh,
glass.
I don't
Yeah.
believe in guns.
You don't believe in guns? Don't kill these majestic creatures.
He doesn't believe
no,
in
I've
protection.
never taken a shooter of oyster.
So you're the only one, Joe, that's had an oyster.
Are you surprised?
That's a weird
It's
I,
aphrodisiac.
I really like oysters.
Yeah.
Oysters are really
I
good.
think I'm gonna go bold.
Shooters,
I- it's
just
crab
raw. There's so many
chocolate,
different
They're
kinds.
just so slimy and chewy, in my
Hey,
opinion.
the aftertaste is really
Weird.
what confuses
Yes,
it.
me too. That's
Because-
why I'm not making my
Wait,
decision
You
yet.
had the
I'm stalling.
Founder's breakfast stout.
Multiple times, and I don't remember it tasting like this.
You literally just had it the other day, didn't
Yep.
you?
I had it like last night or the night before. Yeah.
You know what? That aftertaste is.
I'm gonna go oyster. I'm gonna go all in right now.
You're saying that's oyster?
You guys
Yeah.
are probably seeing what's on the bottom of my cup. I just figured out.
Yeah, but I don't know what that means.
Oh, that's true. No one knows but me what that means. I'm gonna go
You're
oyster
right.
too because this tastes too much like. The aftertaste is really weird.
The aftertaste is weird. I'm gonna stick with
As
breakfast
I'm
stout.
drinking more, you're gonna stick with breakfast stout.
Yeah, I've
All
never
right.
had a breakfast stout, but I'm
I'm
hoping.
sure you have.
Well, no, I've never had this breakfast.
Oh, this
stout.
one. Yeah.
And I'm hoping the oyster one
Is
is
a
going
little
to be
bit
a
more?
little bit more of a difference.
Okay. Well, should we actually look over what it is and see what
Oh,
it is,
no.
or wait till the
I
end?
guess
So
we should probably wait till the end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's wait till the end.
Is that
So
all right?
here, I'm gonna write down what we thought. Give me a
Yeah.
pen over there. The first
Like I
one.
said before.
This was well thought out.
I thought it was in your head, Jordan.
It is in my head. It's also on this paper. So, what the heck?
Gosh.
Either way, I'm gonna
Performance
take
issues
some
again.
water.
I work in a pen company and I don't have a pen that works. Just kidding. I don't work in a pen company.
That's okay.
First, so who says it's oyster?
I do.
So
Raise your
Kipka.
hand.
Kipka does. I say it.
You could.
No one else. Everyone else says it's breakfast
Just
chocolate
put
stout.
all our names and then
Hang
just
on.
put what we do on each one.
It's so.
Bag
I
up.
could see it going both ways, like Joe. I will go with
Excuse you.
breakfast stout.
Breakfast
No,
stout. Okay,
it is
so
have, like, a
Krager.
chocolate
And
to
then
it,
what
so-
about you, Kevin?
I'm gonna go breakfast.
Breakfast.
I'm
All right,
lone
cool.
wolfing on this. I probably got it wrong.
Well, I'm with you on it.
Oh yeah.
Jordan's doing it with you.
Oh man.
All right, guys. Let's move on to the next one.
Okay, wait. I have a question.
Yes, have a question.
If after we
Yeah.
drink some of these and
We
we're
can
like, okay,
change.
that first one may have been something different.
I think we
Wait,
can change.
Can we?
I think so.
I don't know. You're the one that's doing this. So.
I say you can.
Okay.
Because I just smelled this one. It smells a little bit more like an oyster stout to me because it smells like bland.
Oh.
Don't bias my opinion, man.
I already have my my vote for this one.
That's oyster stout.
That's oyster. That's definite oyster.
Good lord.
Yeah, that's probably.
That is.
I don't like that at all.
Would you say I don't like that?
I just don't like that.
If that is the oyster,
That is
which I think
weird.
it is, I think you could actually taste like the.
It smells.
salt
It
sea.
smells like an aquarium in my cup right now. Like it's kind of flat too. Do you guys think it's like very flat?
It's not very good.
No, that's disgusting.
Really? I don't really taste
I don't.
that much.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't hate it because I don't really taste.
I'll tell you this: it tastes like I'm drinking out of a really really old plastic cup that some liquid has sat in for a month, and the plastic has slowly stared deteriorating
see that.
into it.
Yeah.
Into it.
I can
Yeah.
see that. I mean, to be fair,
I'm
when you
hearing
were s- when
whenever
you were-
we set something down, it's like. Poof.
to be fair, when you were talking about it, it didn't sound like a great pairing.
No,
to begin
no,
with,
it
so-
sounded disgusting. That's
Yeah,
why I
so-
wanted to do it with you guys.
Yeah, you brought this
It's
into
like
it.
one
I
of
brought
those,
you in it.
one of those things. Oh, this tastes horrible. Here, you try.
Yeah. Well, do you remember back in high school, we had a friend named Kyle Mayhew, and he had a truck, and he would collect like bottles in the back,
Yeah.
so he would recycle them later. And do you guys remember one time he had that old wine bottle, and he like grabbed it, and he smelled it, and he was like, "Ugh," like dry heaving. He's like, it smells so gross. And he's like, smell this, and we all went down the line smelling it and dry heaving, and it's like, why don't we
throw
just
up?
take? Andy probably threw up. Yeah, I mean, but like, why didn't we just take his word for it that it
Yeah, what's
smelled
wrong with us?
bad?
Like a hot
Yeah.
plate.
All right, so we all say oyster on that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just gonna guess oyster on all of them, I guess.
Yeah.
Get one right.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that second one is oyster.
It's weird. Like the first sip, it felt like a little bit overpowering, just no me gusta. And then the second one, I'm like a little less overpowering, just a little more plain, kind of like, eh.
It's like it wrecked your taste buds.
Heyo.
Bam, bam, bam.
The texture of it isn't like a beer.
No,
Yeah.
it's almost like how I feel oysters are rubbery and gross. That's how I feel this beer is, just rubbery and gross. Let's go for the third one
Not how
now.
I would say oysters are.
Well,
I would just say that it doesn't have like the thickness of a beer. Usually.
no, it doesn't
Yeah.
taste like a stout. It's very thin.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I can't
Very
smell
disappointed
anything
we
on
didn't
this one.
cheers.
Oh yeah, we haven't cheered
The
a single
entire
one.
time.
Salud, mi amigos.
We're gonna cheers after that.
Is salud a Spanish thing?
Oh, boy.
It's salute when,
Yeah.
when you sneeze. It's salute. It's actually
It's also for cheers.
well. It's also when you
All right, let's try this one.
It's probably the coconut.
Yeah, there's the coconut.
Oh my gosh, they all
Yeah.
taste so like
That's coconut.
Similar.
weird. Yeah,
So Joe,
I think this is the
we got
coconut
100%,
too.
Joe. We think
I think so.
Well, if we,
I think
we
we're-
can change,
I think we're right.
I might get 100% too.
Yeah.
honest 100%.
Does anyone differ that? Like, I think we all agree the second one was the oyster stout. Does anyone differ between the first being the?
Well,
I
I
still
just
think the first is breakfast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And second oyster.
I think
and
I guess
third
the first
Maui.
one was the oyster, just because like we were saying, we were thinking that there was gonna be like an obvious kind of flavor, and that
Yeah.
had like more of a flavor. But when it came to the oyster one, I didn't really have any flavor.
It tasted bland, very
Yeah.
bland, but it also tasted gross, which is a feat among itself.
I don't know.
Good
You didn't-
job.
you didn't think
Bland
it was
and
gross.
I didn't think it was
Bland and gross.
I thought it was more disappointing.
It was weird.
I gotta say, when you first said, "Oh, we're gonna
like
do
a
these
flat
three
beer.
flavors," I'm like, okay, you
That's
kind of
what it
picks
was.
like I
Yeah.
feel like very different flavors that you're gonna tell easily. All these beers tasted oddly like similar. They have
They're
Well,
all
that's
they're all
stouts.
stouts.
Yeah,
in
I
Yeah,
order.
but
No,
that's
I know,
why I
but
that's why I
usually-
did it this way because I didn't want to be like, here's an IPA and here's a stout and then
Yeah.
here's
No,
this
I
because
know
it's
that,
like
but
those are
I was
too obvious.
expecting to have a lot more wide variety of like difference in the taste.
Well, it's
between-
also weird too because how your brain works is when someone says, "Here's a coconut stout," and then you drink it and you go, "Wow, that does taste like coconut." But when you go into it blind and they're like, "What does this taste like?" It's really hard to actually
Yeah.
pick out the flavor because they're so subtle. You got to know what you're looking
You put
for.
it out in the order that you gave it to.
Did
I know, seriously. The breakfast stout, the oyster.
that was just a coincidence because Krager picked them out and
Well,
I
don't
said
know.
them like
We
that.
haven't-
So
it hasn't
Yeah,
been
yeah.
revealed
no one,
yet.
yeah, it hasn't been revealed yet.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at the bottom of the first one.
I get
The
it.
first one is C, so it is the breakfast stout. So we
Hey.
were correct. Whoever said breakfast stout.
One for one.
One for one. Bottom is A,
Whole thing of
which
oysters.
is the
Oyster.
Oyster Stout.
Yeah, Joe.
So correct on
Yep.
that one, and obviously B is the
We know our
coconut
beers.
stout.
Good job,
So
Joe.
you guys got it all right. But yeah, that was
No, you
interesting. That I don't know. Would you recommend an oyster stout for someone?
I don't
would
know. It
not
tasted like a
recommend
flat
that.
beer.
Yeah, it tasted gross. Which I don't know if that's just because like
The
maybe it's a
taste
little
wasn't-
old or something. I don't know.
I don't
To
think
be
the taste
fair,
was a problem.
before even drinking it, I wouldn't recommend it to anyone.
Yeah,
That
no, me
just-
too.
that's
Yeah, it
the
just sounds
weirdest.
kind of gross.
Yeah.
But so what's your guys' favorite style of beer? What do you think, Joe? What's your favorite style?
All of them.
Oh, alcoholic beer. It just
I don't know.
depends
I
on
like
the
them
day.
all, yeah, because it depends. I love having stouts and porters in winter. Love having IPAs in like summer with the right meal.
So what you're
and
saying is
then-
Joe loves beer like he loves his women, all of them.
No. If that's the case, he likes blondes.
Yeah, blonde and full of alcohol. All right,
I'll have
Kipko,
two.
what's your favorite? what's your favorite beer style, Kipka?
I don't know.
For springtime, what's your favorite beer
Uh-huh.
style?
It's all dependent on the mood and what's going on. I mean, or if it's warm out, yeah, lighter beer is good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
you
even in
guys,
the evening, I'm
you
always
guys,
down
your
for a stout.
indefinitive answers are not helping me out here.
Well, when you
I'm-
drink
hey, I will
all the
say-
different types of
I mean,
beers.
Okay,
if
I
I
will
if
say
I
my-
told you saisons were my favorite, how would that help you out right now?
I don't know. That's true.
I will say my least favorite beer are Hefs
That's okay.
because they
Why
all
you?
taste the same. Really,
Mhm.
I don't know if they all taste the same.
a majority of them it's just the same thing every
I
time.
don't know.
So I'm like,
Pocock's taste
no,
really different
no,
than
I don't
most Hefs.
dislike it, but if you want to go for variety, they're really not that different to me.
No, it's true.
I feel
think
like
I'd
they're
rather-
kind of like the beer for everyone.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
It's like a blue moon.
Though I think I'd rather have a hef over like just like a standard lager.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think pilsners are probably my least
Yeah,
favorite.
I would
Like,
agree.
They just
Pilsners
seem
are just
so
bland.
weak. It's like drinking water.
Yep. Coors Light.
refreshing.
Miller Lite.
it could be
all that.
refreshing, I guess, but
some,
like
some pilsners I've had are like have a little bit more of a flavor, but it still have that really light like ness to them. Like,
yeah,
lightness.
I don't know. I just feel like if I'm thirsty and I'm gonna drink a pilsner, I might as well drink water to quench
Yeah.
my thirst
Yeah.
rather than a pilsner. You
Yeah,
know?
but that's
Pilsners
water
are
that
boring.
could get you buzzed.
That is water that could give me a buzz. So can the sparkling hard sodas and all that they got now.
But
Mm.
I will
Mm-hmm.
say my favorite style of beer is actually the stouts and porters. Like,
Yes.
No matter where I go, I'd rather just have one of those. A couple
Yeah.
of those, and you're good. They usually taste better.
3, 4, 5 of those. I'm
Six
good.
pack
I'm
down.
not-
No,
I'm
I
not a kegger.
I agree with you that stouts and porters are my favorite. The only time I differ is like if we're out at the pool in the middle of the day, it's like 100 degrees out. Then
Yeah.
I'll
Perfect
go.
time for a
Though-
stout.
Perfect
When are
time.
you out
No,
of the
another thing that I don't like about stouts and
Okay, I
porters
see that. How bad?
is compared to all the other beers, they are very filling.
Yes, they are very filling.
So if you
it's
just
not-
have like a
Instagram
big
videos.
meal and you're trying, if you want to enjoy a beer, you can't really have a stout or porter
Yeah.
because
I wouldn't drink a stout or a porter with a meal. I would drink it as dessert.
yeah.
Don't you do that already?
Yeah, I do that already. That's what I do. If I'm gonna drink a beer with dinner, it's usually like either a hef, an amber ale, or a pale ale.
An amber
For some
ale.
reason, IPAs
Yeah.
I don't like drinking with food.
Mm,
It
well,
makes the food taste terrible to me for
depends-
some
you
reason.
gotta match it with
Depends
the right
on
kind of
yeah.
food.
It depends on the
Well,
matching.
spicy food is like the one exception I will do, but like
which is like the main thing
the main
people
reason to
suggest
have it.
with
But like if I had an
When do
IPA
you
and I'm
eat
eating like
spicy
a
food?
burger, very rarely.
was
But
gonna
remember at my
say.
bachelor party, I accidentally had a really spicy taco, and I was like dying.
Crazy bachelor party.
Yeah,
For,
crazy
for
bachelor
those listening,
party.
you have to
Real doozy.
For those listening, you have to understand this is the guy who would walk around with a little plastic bag filled with Tums.
I still have it. It's in my pocket. I got a plastic bag of 4 Tums in my pocket in case my tummy hurts, because that's who I am.
So embarrassing.
So embarrassing. So I don't know if you guys saw on my Instagram, but yesterday I started brewing my own beer
I did see that.
because I got like a new kit and everything. So in 4 short weeks, we'll have an amber ale to try out that I made.
We're doing that as part of a Wreck My Taste Buds?
Yeah, we'll do that as part of Wreck My Taste Buds because either you guys are gonna
It'll probably wreck my
because
taste
I'll
buds.
probably wreck your
Or
taste
it'll
buds with
wreck
it.
Jordan's confidence one. You know,
Yeah,
we'll see.
it was a really long process, honestly. When you have all the ingredients separate and have to mix them all together, it was actually kind of hard. I made your
Why
house.
most people don't brew their
Yeah,
own
it
beer.
made my
They
house
buy
smell
it.
terrible because like you're brewing the wort for an hour, and the minute I put the hops into the boiling like stuff, it was it smelled.
I think
What did
you're supposed to
Madison
do it
say?
in a
Oh, Madison
garage,
hated
so.
it. At first, she was like, "It smells like it smells like cookies are baking," and then she goes, "It smells like cookies it went bad."
Just give her some oysters and you guys will be
Yeah,
good.
right. Here, try this. It's not worst. Well, yeah. I guess that's it. Anyone else want to say any more? Did it wreck your taste buds, or were you guys just like whatever?
The
it
oyster
wasn't as
one kind
bad?
of did wreck my taste buds.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
I still
wasn't
think you
a
guys
fan.
are. I don't know. I don't understand people. I don't pick up the hints maybe as much. I thought you
I-
said it was
oyster?
pretty.
I thought
yeah.
it was kind of anticlimactic, honestly.
I just feel like it didn't taste briny or salty. It just tasted gross.
It didn't
I
really
have to
taste
agree.
like anything to me.
No, it was just like gross.
No, I could taste the brine.
Actually,
The
I
brine
felt
and
like after I
saltiness.
knew what it was, when I just started to finish it off, I'm like, ooh, that was worse.
Yeah, no, I didn't like it. I feel like it wrecked my taste buds only because it was just like a gross beer.
Yeah, that's why.
It
It's
tasted
not like,
like,
it was,
someone left their stout and they're about to leave. Like, hey, you can finish it. And
Yeah.
you're like, I
Or like you
guess.
wake up the next morning, you just try and find a beer that's still there, like
Yeah,
stale
it's the
beer the next
half-open
the morning after a party.
Can't relate to that. I don't know.
Oh, I can relate to that.
excuse me.
Tell us, Jordan.
Oh. What do you guys
Morning
think I did
leftover
when you
beers.
left at parties at my house? I just drank all the beer that was left.
That's why he has all the
I
tons.
find the
That's why-
germaphobe would never do that.
Yeah, I would never do that. It would be gross. But yes, well, thank you guys for doing this with me. I'm glad no one barfed on it. It wasn't that bad. But and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. But if you didn't, screw you. It's my show.